Have once again returned to first place in the NFC South, given they own the tiebreaker over Tampa. Tonight wraps up Week 15 in the NFL as the Saints, who were officially eliminated from the playoffs this week, are at the Packers. Pre-game coverage for Monday Night Football starts at 7:30 over on our sister station, 1380 WAOK. Keeping you up to date on Atlanta sports when it happens, I'm Caleb Johnson from the Kia Studios on your home of tonight's Hawks-Timberwolves game, tip-off at 7:30, Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
Atlanta Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
Tonight's game is see-ball, get ball. See-ball, get ball.
We're going through the last Falcons game on Falcons Monday.
Falcons Monday is presented by Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Atlanta Falcons. Our Falcons play here. Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
Poll questions up at Dukes and Bell 929. You can tell us how you feel. And the question is pretty simple, man. It's pretty easy. When you start talking about how do you feel about yesterday and coming off the game with Michael Penix, poll question simply asks, how do you feel? And your choices are Falcons are 100% back. 50-50, good but need more. Or meaningless result, meaning you played a bad team. And it's hard for me to justify that simply by saying this is the NFL. Everybody just walks out every Sunday. You're not guaranteed to jack. So I don't know if it was meaningless, but I get the sense that a lot of people, some people say, well, it was the Giants and you should have done this. Really? I mean, we've been playing terrible for a variety of reasons, but mainly the quarterback. And so to get competent quarterback play yesterday, again, Michael Penix didn't, break any records or anything of that nature, but I thought it was a solid foundation, and that's how I've been describing it to people when asked about Michael Penix. Go vote. It's at Dukes and Bell 929. You can tell us what you think. Lots of people chiming in, Zeno, on whether they think you are downplaying this whole thing when you said, hey, would we have won with Kirk Cousins playing yesterday? Because, again, you got 2 pick sixes, and my whole thing is I don't know. With the way things are going, I really don't. And Tim says, Zeno seems to be being negative about this. No, I got to defend him. He said he was giving our quarterback props, and I don't want to speak for you, but go ahead.
I think what Michael Penix did yesterday was exactly what you expected him to do. I think he brought stability to an offense and a team that felt like it was in chaos more often than not when they were on offense. The offense didn't feel disjointed. They were able to move the ball with some measure of success, and they didn't make any mistakes. Everything looked clean. And so from that standpoint, again, it's not me being negative. I didn't say a bad thing about Michael Penix or the Falcons or anything they did yesterday. But, there's a wide gap between negative and, all of our problems are fixed. We don't know any of that yet. We just don't. I mean, and you have to take into account the quality of you literally played the worst team in football yesterday by a wide margin. They literally were the worst team in football.
No, the Raiders were before when you played them too.
Well, they just beat the Jaguars yesterday. So Giants in the season, number 1 overall pick, baby.
Is it Sheesh? I believe it is on Twitter. Let me see what his Twitter handle is.
Big Debo ETL.
Correct, and Big Debo. He says, when are we going to talk about Kyle Pitts? Let's talk about him. He's been unproductive. He has been a question mark, no matter who the quarterback has been. Yesterday, listen, we all make mistakes. That was inexcusable. It hits him right in the hands. That's what you get paid for. And then you fumble it and they turn it over.
Also, I just work here.
And that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
I mean, look, again, we don't have to answer questions in the offseason, but we're doing. Kyle Pitts is here for the rest of this year. He's going to be on the field. He's got to be a viable target. You can't just put him out there. He's not a decoy. You have to try to work him into the offense. So that's the reality of the situation. What you do with him in the offseason, somebody asked what you give him in a trade. I said a bag of balls and an extra ground game.
You're not getting jacked.
So, you might get a 4th-round pick, conditional 4th at this point. But somebody will take a flyer on him in a trade market. But, again, that's down the road. We don't need to worry about that right now. You got to worry about beating the Commanders. You got to worry about beating the Panthers.
Yeah, okay, but here's my issue with this now, right? Because I was adamant before the season started that how critical Pitts' play was going to be.
So was I. I was
to making this offense different, right? Because again, the idea of him being in the middle of the field with that size and being that target and being a red zone target with the addition of a veteran like Kirk Cousins we all felt like this is going to be the unlocking of Kyle Pitts. It hasn't happened. It just hasn't happened. What's up, Bo?
And he's healthy now,
Yes, he
too.
is. Yes, he is.
You can't use the knee as an excuse anymore because he had a whole offseason to recover and get right in the weight room and all that stuff. And, we haven't heard anything about what was the one little the hamstring thing he had at one point earlier in the season, but he's been healthy all year, so you can't say this is an injury thing with him.
All right, so Zeno, here's my issue with this, talking about just the rest of the season and moving forward. Nobody's game planning from Kyle Pitts. Nobody's saying we got to know where 8 is. Nobody we're going to play from this point on because of the season that has been had by him is saying he is dangerous, and you know what? If we don't defend him, it's a problem. And my point is, if that is the case, then why even play him? Seriously. He's not helping you. And I'm frustrated like everybody else is. Yesterday when that interception happened, I had to put my phone down. Like, I was like, I might say some stuff that I might go there. I am so frustrated with a guy who is so immensely talented, who has done nothing. Nothing. And I can't explain it anymore, and I can't even talk about it. It's what?
It's a miss. I mean, I objected to the pick.
It's a miss.
The minute it happened, you never take a tight end 4th overall. You don't take a tight end inside the top 20, period. Because tight ends don't change offenses. They just don't. Okay? They're not game changers. And the guys that are in this league, you know where you found them all? The second round and beyond.
Yeah.
Okay?
Out.
It's a miss. Nothing you can do about it. What's done is done. Deal with it in the offseason. He's got to be out there. He's got to help the team contribute to win. And if he has any, heart, if he ain't the freaking Tin Man, he'll play his tail off for the next 2 games and in a postseason game to try to show somebody on tape something where